We're excited for our next guest here on Get Down to Business. I am absolutely thrilled to be joined by Heather Cox, the president of Certify My Company. Heather works with both diverse businesses and corporations to increase visibility in supplier markets and connect certified businesses with the corporations eager to do business with them. In addition to her leadership at Certify My Company, Heather serves on the board of many national and regional forums, far too numerous for me to list over here, but a special shout out to NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, where I have got some great relationships. So Heather, appreciate all that you do and really appreciate you coming on the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. I know you've assisted so many big name and minority owned organizations and have been featured in many publications. So it really is a pleasure to have you on the program. So can you start by giving us a brief overview of Certify My Company and your mission?
Absolutely. Well, I like to say that I am a champion and a cheerleader for underestimated entrepreneurs. And through our certification and educational programming, we prepare them for bigger and better contracts. So that's kind of the overview of it. Really in a nutshell, what we do is we work with entrepreneurs that are of diverse demographics, which is women, ethnic minority, LGBT, veteran, and people with disabilities, and support them through the correct diversity certification process for them and their business. And then we also work with the Fortune 1000 to make sure everybody in their supply chain that should be certified is certified.
Incredible. That's awesome. So what are some of the common challenges, Heather, that diverse businesses face in gaining visibility and establishing connections with large corporations?
Well, like any business, right? It's getting in the door. It's having that initial conversation. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I've done sales for most of my professional career. And sometimes you're like knocking on the door. Hey, I want to talk to you. And either they say, we don't want any, or they're like, no. And in your head, you're thinking, if you would give me 5 minutes, you would love me. I know you would love me. You need what I have to sell to you. But they don't even want to give you the time of day. So what the beauty is of the certification is it gets you in that door to have the conversation. Now, it's not a guarantee, but it gets you in the door.
Heather, what advice would you give to diverse businesses that are just starting out and looking to enter into the corporate supply chain and attract the attention of corporations?
Well, so first and foremost, make sure you're ready to do business with a large organization. It sounds like this beautiful kind of like utopian idea that you want to do, but with that comes a lot of responsibilities, right? There's insurance requirements. There is a lot of other potential issues that could come up. So it's really important to make sure that you are in a position to really support that large organization. You know, a lot of people don't want to be a subcontractor, but subcontracting is a great way to get in the door, right? Because you get to know what that larger organization is. It gives you a chance to scale and grow and get to a position where you can actually handle the amount of work that is probably necessary for a large Fortune 100 company. And then I would say, get certified. If you qualify for certification because you are owned, operated, and controlled by one or more people with a diverse demographic, get certified. There are no downsides, and it comes along with a plethora of benefits that will get you in the door and also get you in a position to start having those conversations once you're ready to be that tier one or that prime supplier to a large organization.
I'm chatting with the president of Certify My Company, that's Heather Cox, and Heather works with both diverse businesses and corporations, assisting businesses with all aspects of certification and helping to increase their visibility in supplier markets. And I love this title, Heather. You are basically a corporate matchmaker on so many levels, facilitating relationships and the sharing of knowledge through networking events and seminars as well. And I know involved in so many different capacities. So Heather, you've been involved in many organizations that promote diversity and inclusion. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey, what inspired you to get into this line of work?
Well, it definitely was not one of those things that you like wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what I want to do? I want to do diversity certifications, right? And not to give my age away, but I'm definitely older than the college graduates who now have the opportunity to take like entrepreneurship or even supplier diversity as a degree. This did not exist back in my day, right? Or as my kids say, the olden days. So really what happened is that when I was pregnant with baby number one, I knew I had to work. I didn't know what that was going to look like. So I started asking a lot of women a lot of questions. You know, they were both executives in big organizations. Some of them were business owners. Some of them were part-time. Whatever it was, I wanted to know what their experience was as a working mom. I knew corporate America was not always so mommy friendly. So I wanted to know what that looked like for for me, what my potentials were. And so throughout those conversations, the entrepreneurs to me were amazing. There was just something about them that I was just drawn to. And I would just ask them more and more questions. And eventually through some of the conversations, a few of them that were selling business to business had said to me, oh, my client wants me to get this certification and I just can't do it. Now I was like, hold on, you run a company. What do you mean you can't do it? You run a business, and some of these businesses were 10 million, 20 million, 50 million businesses. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do an application? So I went home and I did a little research, and I was looking, and I said to my husband, who's an attorney, what's an article of incorporation? And he said, well, in some states. And I said, in some states, which means it's not across the board. So that means that if I'm looking for this document and I can't find it because it doesn't exist where I am, well, then I'm going to be frustrated, right? And this is before I even understood the constraints, the bandwidth constraints of being an entrepreneur. And so I went back to these business owners and I said, hey, you know what? I can do this for you. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I did it.
I love it. And Heather, you and your team are helping so many businesses at Certify My Company. How can we get in touch with you?
So certifymycompany.com is the best way. We are Certify My Co at all the socials, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And that's really the best way to reach out. We have a lot of great information on there as well. So even if you're not sure you want to reach out yet, at least follow because you'll get some great information.
We'll link in our show notes. Heather Cox, Certify My Company, thank you so much. You're listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be right back.